very worldly. Many people are saying I'm one of the most worldly gamers that's ever existed. We're doing a quiz on Sporcle. Historical figures by portrait, okay? Can I name who a person is from a portrait of them? Yes. This is George Washington. I don't even need to know that he's president of the United States. They should remove that hint. This is Ludwig von Beethoven. He's named after a dog. This is Queen Elizabeth I. This is Catherine. This is Marie Antoinette. This is a Dutch Golden Age master. That's Van Gogh. I mean Monet. I mean Manet. I mean, I'll know. I don't know him, but I'll know him. I don't know painters, okay? This is Genghis Khan, also known as Temujin. This is Catherine the Great. This is a Portuguese nobleman and advocate of exploration. This is Magellan. This is Columbus. This is Pizarro. This is Cortez. He's an advocate of exploration. He's not into it himself, but he's like a big fan of the idea. This is Samuel de Champlain. I don't know who, I'm just going to be honest, I don't know who this is. Enlightened despot of Prussia. This is Mozart. His head is photoshopped, by the way. That is not a real picture. Enlightened despot of Prussia. I'm thinking you that you're Otto von Bismarck the first. That's not, that doesn't make any sense. One of the kings of the Holy Roman Empire, or the emperors. You're probably like a Frederick or something. Okay, I pass. Spanish conquistador. This is Columbus. This dude actually looks like he works at a donut shop in East Vancouver. This is Cortez. American explorer. This is Clark. Wrong, bitch. This is Lewis. That's Columbus. That's Columbus. Infamous ruler of Wallachia. This is Rasputin. I know Rasputin was not a ruler, but this... Wait, no, you're Ivan the Terrible, maybe? This is John Waters. King of France. This is Kevin Kline in A Fish Called Wanda. I'm going to say that this is Louis the 13th. I'm not typing in all the Louis. I'm sorry to tell you that. English philosopher. This is John Locke. Maybe it's just because he looks like John Locke from Lost. This is, he wrote Leviathan. Is Sir Thomas More. I don't know who this is. This is Creed Bratton. English physicist, that's Isaac Newton. Fresh off of filming What We Do in the Shadows. That's Vincent van Gogh. Danish astronomer, that's Keller. That's Galileo. That's Jamie Heineman from Mythbusters. Hubble. I don't think so. Danish astronomer. You're Isaac Asimov. I don't know. I gotta pass on you there. I'm sure I've heard of you. French Enlightenment thinker. This would be Voltaire. Dude, this guy, look, he's so happy. That's Charles Darwin. Also known as the lead singer of Built to Spill. Dutch Golden Age master. Someone in chat said Jeff Ross, and it's like so true. This is actually your roast master supreme, Jeff Ross. But you gotta hand it to her. She married you for love. She loves money. I don't know who you are. You're one of the painters. Are you a Manet? Are you a Matisse? I know nothing about art at all. You're not Salvador Dali. I don't know. Portuguese nobleman. Beats me. This one's kind of throwing me. I feel like this should be very gettable. Famous guy who's kind of from Germany. And Wallachia. Infamous ruler of Wallachia. You're not Ivan the Terrible? What the hell is Wallachia? King of France? I hate that smile. All right, whatever. I'll give up on you. Thomas Hobbes! I said Thomas More! What was I thinking, man? Tycho Brahe. This dude literally is this true, by the way, that he pissed himself to death? He held in his and don't just say yes because you've heard it. Is there like a verifiable historian that can tell me if this guy held in his pee so much that his bladder exploded and he died of sepsis? That's why I always try to go before the stream. Henri the Fourth. I'm glad I didn't waste all my time typing Louis because I was probably never going to go with a Henry there. Of course. You know what? He needs the armor like Gary Oldman has in Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula, where it's got like the ribs on it. You know what I'm talking about? Frederick. Oh my God. I even spelled Frederick with a K, like an enlightened EU4 player, and it turns out he's Frederick the damn Second. Henry the Navigator? Who the hell is that? It sounds like a show on Nick Jr. Henry the Navigator? I've never heard of him in my life. This is literally just like a crew of a ship. Did he invent the astrolabe? Rembrandt! You're the one I forgot. Rembrandt. Okay. Fair enough. You know what? Bring me back. Historical figures by Portrait 1. This is Napoleon. Bonaparte, specifically. English playwright. This is Shakespeare, who definitely looks like he works the brunch shift at an East Vancouver diner, which is fine, by the way. This is Henry. This is like Henry VIII. This is Joan of Arc. This is Teddy Roosevelt. I know this guy. This is Martin Luther, also known as Cobalt Streak. This is Columbus again. You can't reuse the same photo. This is Mozart. Native American who befriended English settlers. Befriended? I mean, my answer would be like Pocahontas, but I'm okay. That's literally my only guess. Just befriended is kind of like a strange word to use there. First Secretary of the U.S. Treasury. Treasury Secretary Alexander Hamilton. Come on. Too easy. King of the Lombard and Franks. This is Charlemagne. This is Jack Black. A Boston silversmith. Are you Samuel Adams? This is Jack Black. I got a kick-ass fucking cauldron. Sorry. KG, look, I found a fucking kick-ass genie, KG. What do you think we should do? Should we fucking give it a fucking rub, KG? Should we give it a fucking rub-a-dub? Boston silversmith. You're Sam Adams. You're the other one. You threw that shit in the damn water. You're Sam Adams. You're Paul Revere. Oh! French revolutionary leader. Lafayette. I mean, this is actually, what's the name of the guy from Stranger Things? You know, with the eyebrows? I don't know this one. Steve something. Who's this guy? Steve Holt? That's Steve Harrington. Dude, yes, thank you. That's Steve Harrington. Yeah, I don't know who you are. The Tsar of Russia? Okay, this is Ivan the Terrible. I mean, this is Nicholas the Second. I mean, this is Nicholas the First. This is Ivan the Terrible. This is Nicholas. This is Nicholas the Second, the First. This is Nicholas the First, the Second, the Third. Okay. Next. Italian poet. This is Dante Cagliari, La Cosa Nostra. Italian patron of the arts. This is William Mitchell, inventor of hot sauces, breaker of high scores. I'm going to say you're a Medici. This is Jeffrey Dahmer. This is I Know You. You wrote the Prince. This is Niccolo Machiavelli. Advisor to an English king. This is Mel Brooks. Am I crazy? This is Mel Brooks? I don't know who this is. No, you know who this is? This is F. Murray Abraham. This is the guy who played Salieri. Sultan of the Ottoman Empire. Gonna have to pass on that one. King of France. I'm sorry, pass. This the painter was executed soon after revealing his work. King of Spain. This is a Philip, right? Yeah. All right, Steve Harrington. I give up. Maximilien Robespierre, of course. Peter. This reminds me of the time that you were the Tsar of Russia. Sir Thomas More! I'm not familiar with Sir Thomas More, except I know he's an English philosopher. And I know on the Shins song, So Says I, the guy goes, there's nothing like we'd ever dreamt. Tell Sir Thomas More we got another failed attempt. Suleiman the Magnificent. I could have gotten that one. I needed a little bit more time. Francis the First. Also Francis the Last, if I had to guess. No offense to Francis the First. I'm not trying to body shame you, but why do you look like a Timothy Dalton, like, post-mortem autopsy photo? Something's not right here. Owned. It was pretty rude. I mean, luckily, I'm assuming Francis the First has been dead for like close to 800 years, so. English-British wars by map? Nope. That's not going to happen. Memorable historical encounters. Can you name the two historical figures pictured together? Yes. This is Diana Spencer and Mother Teresa. Okay. Princess Diana, Mother Teresa. Are you fucking with me? Diana Teresa. Reagan Gorbachev. Michael Jackson hugging Nelson Mandela. This is Malcolm X and Muhammad Ali. This is two British guys. I'm going to say that this is Kenneth Branagh from Dunkirk next to, that might be Woodrow Wilson. It's hard to tell. Could this be Roosevelt and then Montgomery? No, okay, I pass. I don't know this one. No, I can get this. Maybe it's not the Second World War. This is this is Pope Benedict and the other one, Pope Malcolm. What is the other one called? There was a one of you is Benedict and the other one was like really old and from like Poland. I don't remember. I could not tell you, to be honest. I'm going to say that this is Ulysses S. Grant and Lee. Yes, okay, just context. This is Fidel Castro and Che Guevara. This is Mao and Nixon. Nightmare blunt rotation. This is Malala Yousafzai. I'm just going to say Malala and Queen Elizabeth. Okay. This would be I have no idea. To be honest with you, I have no clue. I'm passing. This is Winston Churchill and Stalin. Something of a nightmare blunt rotation itself, I'm sure. This is Bill Clinton and John F. Kennedy. This is Babe Ruth and another baseball player, Hank Aaron. This is Babe Ruth and just two dudes stroking the pole together. Nothing wrong with that. This is Neville Chamberlain and Adolf Hitler. The nightmare blunt rotations just keep getting worse for sure. You know what? Take me back. I'll pass it to Mao and take it from Nixon rather than going down with that one. Okay. This is Steve Jobs and Bill Gates. This is Emperor Hirohito and MacArthur. This is Golda Meir and Thatcher. He's cracked. He's insane. This is Obama and Chavez. This is Walt Disney and Salvador Dali. He's kind of insane with it. Have you noticed that? I don't know. This is two old dudes. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with being like an old guy or whatever, but I don't know who you are, to be honest with you. This is Yasser Arafat and Ariel Sharon. This is Yasser Arafat and Ben Gurion. This is Yasser Arafat and I don't know who the other person is, honestly. Would I rather pass it to Neville Chamberlain or to Kim Jong-il? This is another one that I don't really want to be there. You know what? I could tolerate this one if I had to. I think that's Tony Blair and Arnold S. This would be this is Abraham Lincoln and the time traveler from like 100 years earlier. I don't know who this guy is. I'm just gonna be honest. I couldn't tell you. I'm passing. This appears to be Dwight Eisenhower getting his soul sucked out by a crone, perhaps. I don't know. This is Dwight Eisenhower having his life force sapped. It's hard to tell. I don't know the context. All right, honestly, I give up. Woodrow Wilson, King George V. I knew he was British, man. Pope Benedict and Pope Francis in Vatican City. This is not Pope Benedict. This is I haven't watched Stranger Things recently. I'm just telling you, that's Finn Wolfhard. That's an aged up version of Mike from Stranger Things. There's been a lot of Stranger Things in these quizzes. He does. I can see it. I told it's the shoulders and the neck position too. Don't even get me started on this guy. Photobombed. Historic photobomb. For some reason, Trey Parker is just in the back kibitzing. Anyway. Henry Stanley and David Livingston in Ujiji. 0% chance I was going to get this. Ted Williams and Babe Ruth. Honestly, could have gotten it if I just guessed old baseball players over and over, but life's too short for that. Thomas Edison and Henry Ford. Nightmare blunt rotation, but probably like the third best blunt rotation you could possibly get if you only had this quiz as your options. Yasser Arafat and Yitzhak Rabin. That one, I don't know who man 2 is. I'm sorry to say. Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass. Okay. You know what? I could have gotten that. That's a gettable one. Dwight Eisenhower and Helen Keller. Okay, I'd like to go back and say it does not look like he's getting his soul sucked out by a crone. I'd like to go back and say that it looks like they're having a touching moment. And they're both feeling inspired right now. Hold on. These are great quizzes, man. Every picture tells a story. Can you name the American city that is home to the newspapers that published each of these headlines? Maybe? You know what? I got a bone to pick with this like Al Capone stuff, by the way. By the way, what a big news day. Jury convicts Al Capone. Second headline, Thomas Edison dies in his sleep. Man invented like, well, kind of, look, I don't want to get into the drunk history of like electricity, but like that's a pretty major invention to be like a part of. We're still using it to this day, I think. I'm just saying, okay? But I got a bone to pick. You know, whenever people talk about, because Chibley was talking about it yesterday, it was like, do you have to declare taxes on stolen money? And people were like, yeah, you don't mess with the IRS. That's how they got Al Capone. That is true, but at the same time, they also got a lot of guys who are not Al Capone for like murder and shooting people. It's not like the cops were like, we can't pin anything on this guy. Oh, wait, he didn't pay his taxes. Like, they were trying. It wasn't like there wasn't like a rule about murdering. And then finally, they're like, we're just waiting for this guy to slip up, and then we're putting him in the slammer. Like, anyway, sorry. I'm just going to... Okay, this must be Chicago. President dead, Connolly shot. This would be Dallas. Simpson held after wild chase. I'm going to say that this is Los Angeles. Spirits soar on first flight of the Dreamliner. This should be Seattle. Marathon blast. This would be Boston. Clemente dies in plane crash. Well, let's say Pittsburgh then. War. Oahu bombed by Japanese planes. That would be, Honolulu. Auto rescue remarks a challenge for Romney. Let's say Detroit. Bottom line, guilty. This would be New York. Really? Washington, D.C.? Ken Lay, 10 counts, guilty. This is Enron, right? This is Enron. I don't know where Enron's based. I thought it would be like a Wall Street thing, but maybe not. I'm passing. Oh, you know what? I just typed New York. I didn't type New York City. Okay, never mind. We're passing then. Eruption decapitates St. Helens. Spirit Lake gone. This would be Seattle again. This would be Tacoma. This would be Blaine. Okay, I got to pass on that one. Wall Street in panic as stocks crash. New York City. Champions face strong rookie class. This has got to be Alaska, right? This would be like Juneau or Anchorage. The front page of the newspaper is about dog sled racing. This would be Miami. I don't know this one, actually. Which is a sad indictment in and of itself. We'll pass. Buckling and swaying and then down, down, down. A bridge that crashed into the Mississippi River. Well, luckily, that's a pretty short one. I'm going to say it was Jackson. I'm going to say it was... I don't know this one, honestly. Atlanta? Excuse me? Vic Deal? Vic Deal? Oh, you know what? It's Philadelphia, isn't it? The Michael Vick trade. Blizzard paralyzes Western New York, kills 7, strands thousands. Western New York. I don't know what's in Western New York, dude. Is this New York City? I don't know Western New York at all. U.S. prohibition ends today through presidential edict. Nation's rum flows at 3 p.m. If I had to guess, I would say Florida. Because I think rum is emblematic of the Caribbean. The only other thing I could think of is Washington, D.C. because, okay. Help us, please. This would be New Orleans. Earthquake and fire, maybe San Francisco. All right, well, let's pass. Houston. Houston is Enron. Okay. Portland, Mount St. Helens eruption. Excuse me, that's stolen valor? That shit blew up in Washington. I'm not saying Portland shouldn't at least be like, you know, hey, it's news. But they should have chosen like the Tacoma Register or something. It's actually closer to Portland. All right, you get the volcano. Congrats. Are you happy now? Now you can take stewardship of the volcano. Denver. Minneapolis? Okay, I'd like to... Today we're not going to crap on Minneapolis. But you guys ever consider building... You know what? I'm not going to go there, okay? I'm just going to... It's a tragedy. Buffalo. So I saw someone in chat say, didn't NL basically grow up in Buffalo? No, I did not. I've never been to Buffalo in my life, honestly. I think Buffalo's probably is like maybe like an 8-hour drive away from me. That was me, sorry. Well, you don't need to apologize. It's just, I don't know. Where'd you get that idea? Is it just because I proselytized the benefits of a sandwich called beef on weck? Country by archaeological site? No, that's okay. We can find a better one for me. Famous works of European architecture. Well, I can make myself look like a fool for sure. You ever run into Will Blunderfield at the grocery store? Listen, those guys are never going to be able to show their face in the city again. Like, the video was insane, but like... And I don't mean, like, they're going to be, like, mocked mercilessly. I'm surprised I've never run into Will Blunderfield out in public. To be fair, he's a very recognizable guy, but that video was pretty on brand for Vancouver. I remember being like, well, I was watching it, and I was typing to Apollo. I said, lol, this is so Vancouver-y, because the guy was talking about breathing into your balls and stuff like that, and I'm like, that seems like Vancouver. And then he went into the bathroom and he drank his own piss, and I said, never mind, that's not a thing we do regularly here. And he drank the whole mason jar full and went the whole time. Anyway, Buffalo is 4 hours away from Ontario. What are you talking? Listen. Are you from Buffalo? You know how many like cool cities you got to get through on the road from Kingston to Buffalo before you end up in Buffalo? Why would I go to Buffalo when I have to drive through Toronto to get to Buffalo? I'm not even insulting Buffalo. I'm just like, imagine going on a road trip and being like, a world-class city that I don't even have to cross an international border to get to. That's closer than the place where I'm going. Well, anyways, see ya. See ya, Toronto. I'm going to Buffalo. A city that invented not a chicken wing, but the sauce that goes on the chicken wing, and the sandwiches have caraway seeds on the buns. Incredible. I'm not insulting Buffalo. I'm just, people are like, you grew up 4 hours away from Buffalo. Why didn't you go to Buffalo? Because I could fucking go to Montreal in 3 hours, to Toronto in 3 hours, Ottawa in 2 hours. I was already on the shores of Lake Ontario. You could drive north and go camping instead. Like, Buffalo's not a premier tourist destination within a radius around the city I grew up in. Why would I go to Montreal when I could go to Buffalo instead and eat spicy chicken wings in a strip mall? Doesn't make any damn sense. Yeah, I'd put Ottawa over Buffalo any day of the damn week. Does Buffalo have the Byward Market? Does it have the Rito locks? I don't think so. Anyway, European landmarks. Okay, you ready for this? This is Westminster Abbey. This is Big Ben. Oh, fuck you! I was right the first time, and then I typed Big Ben, and you're like, actually, it's called Westminster Palace. That's bait. This is the Arc de Triomphe. This is the Arc de Triomphe. This is the Arc. Can I get some help here, chat? De Triomphe. This could be a different thing. Maybe this is a different thing. Nope, it's the Arc de Triomphe. Okay. This is the Hagia Sophia. All right, I'm fucked. I know this one. I've seen this shit. Isildur made it. I've seen this shit. I don't know what this is. I pass. Wait, you spelled it wrong? Never mind, I'm a genius. Okay. This is Versailles. This is literally just a building. This isn't a big deal. This is a Sistine Chapel. This is the Roman Dome. This is literally just a building. This looks like Kingston City Hall. This is like the average European building. It's not even that big of a deal. I don't know what this is. I'm passing. This is Versailles. This is the Rijksmuseum. This is Versailles. Yeah, I don't know what this is. I pass. This is the Parthenon. Damascus. Yeah, I don't know what this is. I pass. It's the Eiffel Tower, dude! Poggy! This is a bridge. I wouldn't even know if I was on something special. This is how I walk home. I pass. This is the Brandenburg Gate, dude. This is Kingston City Hall. No, this is St. Paul's Cathedral. I've been there, not to brag. It's just a short underground ride from Westminster Palace, built upon an existing triumphal arch dedicated to its namesake emperor in 315 AD. This is Hadrian's Gate. This is the gate of Nero. This is Pliny the Younger's Precipice of Darkness. I don't know. I don't know this one. You can just put the city name. That's coward strats. Broke ground in 1037 on the orders of Yaroslav the Wise. It took 2 decades to complete. Honestly, it takes 2 decades for some people to, complete a spice rack. So this is looking pretty good. That being said, it does also look like a painted background from Shrek. Yeah, I don't know what this is. This is St. Basil's Cathedral. It's not St. Basil's Cathedral. I pass. This is the Sistine Chapel. This is the Church of... This is... I pass. This is... I honestly couldn't tell you this one either. This is the Louvre! Poggy! The Louvre! It's the Colosseum! This is the Parthenon! He's on a roll! This is St. Basil's Cathedral! Bernard the Elder? I have no idea what this is, man. I'm passing. I have no clue. There's a boss in there for sure, though. This is Camelot. This is the Camelot Casino in sunny Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm passing. This is the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Oh, sorry, just the Tower of Pisa. I didn't mean to insult it. Has existed since before the Roman Republic. The complex was expanded through the Middle Ages. This is the city of Troy. I pass. This famed island abbey. Couldn't tell you. Is that the kiln of the first flame? I know this one. This is Notre Dame. This is actually nothing. This is nothing. It's half of a wall. Sorry. It's from almost 2,000 years before Christ. Well, I'm not trying to like insult the masonry. I'm just saying like in the modern era, what the hell is this? I don't know. Beats me. I pass. Construction was ordered by Charlemagne. Looks pretty cool. I gotta say, this looks cool. This guy. How did Charlemagne know what a star fruit looks like? Originally built in Romanesque style in 1015, received renovations in the 14th and the 19th century. Could not tell you what this is, honestly. Home of a famous, sinister 19th century literary character. This would be the Castle of Dracula in Bucharest. All right, I pass. The venue of the Nobel Prize banquet. This is the Oslo Dining Hall. Could not tell you. Sweden? Okay, sorry. It's my mistake. My mistake. This is IKEA. Happy? Broke ground in 1506. Okay, well, we but under 50%. That's not good. St. Peter's Basilica. Oh, that's not just the building. That's where the popes live. All right, fair enough. Schönbrunn Palace. Is this like Mozart's, the hospital where Mozart was born or something? The Pantheon. I thought the Pantheon was like a concept. Isn't that the gods? Like the gods are considered the Pantheon? I didn't know the gods actually live in a square triangle. It's a league champion. The Charles Bridge. Literally just a thing that people walk on. The Arch of Constantine. Of course. It's cool that it's like just in the city. Like you could just be walking to work and be like, hey, hello, Arch of Constantine. Hello. Hello, Niccolo Machiavelli. That's pretty cool. That's how Europe is. I'm just going to be honest with you. If this shit was in Vancouver, it'd be smashed in less than 1 year. Without a doubt. People just go around smashing shit like all the time. Same for the U.S. Oh, that's definitely true. You put this shit in Philadelphia, it would be rubble in like 2 weeks. But same in Rome. That's why there's a fence. Oh, yeah, fair enough, I guess. I feel like in Vancouver, they would, if they had this, they wouldn't put a fence around it because they would be like, that betrays the point of having, you know, public art. And then like in 6 months, it would be fucking wrecked, and we would be like, what do we expect? Fair enough. St. Sophia's Cathedral. This is actually an AI-generated image. The Basilica di Santa Maria del Fiore. That was probably going to be like my next guess. The Milan Cathedral in Milan. Neuschwanstein Castle in Hohenschwangau, Germany. That one was on the tip of my tongue. The Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela. Dude, the world in some ways has gotten worse, but one way that it's definitely gotten better is now we just call really tall buildings like one word. We're like, come live at the edge. Come live at the swirl. You want to take the elevator up to the top of the Shard? Now we got, like, back in the day, you know, and this is like half sponsored, right? Like, isn't like this is named like an arena is in the modern day? This is like the Church of St. James, sponsored by FTX or something like that. Like, it's named after the patrons who financed it. Mount Saint Michel Abbey. Okay. Never heard of it before in my life. The Roman Forum, if you say so. That's the Knossos Palace. Is that where Melania's from? The Aachen Cathedral and Palatine Chapel. Matthes's Church. Bron Castle. And Stockholm Stadhuis. Well, guess what? I'm not from Europe. You know what I could probably do? I wonder if there's one that's like... Hold on. I wonder if there's one that's Canada buildings. I gotta redeem myself. Can you name the buildings in Vancouver? There's 20 of these. This is Harbor Center. I think that's the Hotel Vancouver. No, okay, shit. I don't know. It's the library! Why, that's the Vancouver Public Library from the back! Kate, help me out! Are you the Marine building? You are, okay. You are UBC. That's the Tinseltown Mall, by the way, that you can see it says Tinseltown. That's where the, don't go to that McDonald's. Some of you guys are cool. Don't go to that McDonald's, okay? Now, this building, I honestly just don't know. Okay, that is the Shangri-La. That's the W building. Excuse me? Excuse me? That's the W building? Excuse me? That's the W? That's the W building? It's the Flatiron building? That's the W building? That's the thin building? Okay, I'm pissed. I'm pissed. That's the Vancouver Art Gallery. Sponsored by Microsoft. That's Canada Place. That's City Hall. That's the W building. That's where Nuba on Gastown is. We talked about it the other day. I don't know what this building is called, but that's where Nuba is. If you go down that staircase right there, that's where Nuba is. This is Victory Plaza, Victory Square. That's where Nuba is. Nuba's right in that staircase, literally straight ahead. This is Hotel Vancouver. This is Rogers Arena. This is the Arthur Mcmillan Space Museum. This is the planetarium. This is the Arthur H. Mcmillan Space Center. This is the Space Center. This is the Arthur Mcmillan Space Arena. Help me! Help me! This is the museum. It's also the Museum of Vancouver, but the Space Museum. Okay, sure. Yes. All right. This is. I know this one. Sometimes you find yourself in this area and you're like, how the hell did I get here? Where can I park? How do I get out of here? This is called. It has a famous name. It does look like a PS3. It's like it's not Park Royal, but it's something like that. It's like, it's not the Burj Khalifa. Wall Center! I stole it from chat, but yes, that's Wall Center. Thank you. This is the Marine Museum. This is the Yacht Club. You're not welcome here. This is Kitsilano. This is in Kitsilano. This is the Vancouver Yacht Museum. This is the Vancouver Marine Museum. I don't know, something like that. Pass me. This is TELUS World of Science. This is BC Place. This is the W building. It's the fucking W. That's the fucking W building, man. That's the W building, you piece of shit. There's a... Oh, wait, no, I know this. This is called the Woolworths building. It's something like that. Woodwards? Thank you, chat. Thank you. It's not Woolworths. This is the Vancouver Convention Center. That roof be green, man. They should be playing golf up there. This is Vancouver House. Okay. 16 out of 20 with a little bit of help. I'll take that. This is Sun Tower. Hotel Europe. Everybody calls this the W building, okay? Nobody calls this shit Hotel Europe. Dominion Building, also known as Nuba Gastown. Vancouver Maritime Museum. What the fuck did I said Marine. Like a fool. Like a fool. That's still pretty good. Buildings in Toronto. Okay, this one, I honestly have no idea. I mean, I could think of a couple. That's the CN Tower, for example. I've been there. Cade, we went there. Is this the Toronto Symphony? Cade, we went there. I think. That's got to be Scotiabank Arena. Based on the worst censoring of all time. That's the castle. La Rona Castle. Casa Loma. Thank you. That's Union Station. That's City Hall. Evil buildings. Buildings to get tortured in. I have no idea what this is. That's Robarts, the University of Toronto Library. This is where John, the main character of 1984, was reprogrammed at the end of the book. This is, hold on. I don't know what this is. It looks like an origami swan. Couldn't tell you what it is. This is Bay Street. These like maybe this is called like RBC Tower or something. This is Canada's Wall Street. I'm not joking. By the way, that's called the TD Bank Building. Is this the one where the guy was bragging about how strong the windows were by doing like a body check into the window, and then he body checked his window, and the pane came out, and he fell to his death? Yes, it is. Okay. Does this say soup? Does it say soup on it? I honestly couldn't tell you what this is. Couldn't tell you. That's a famous Toronto hotel. I'm going to say this is the Chateau de Cherry. It's the Chateau Toronto. This is the Toronto Dominion Hotel, sponsored by Freshie. This is, I don't know what this is. I'm passing. This is the Sky Dome, also known as Rogers Stadium, also known as Rogers Arena, also known as the Sky Dome, also known as Rogers Place, also known as Rogers Field, Rogers Center. Thank you. It's the W building. That's the W building, man. That's the W building. That's Hotel Europe. That's the Thin Boy. This is the Hockey Hall of Fame. This is the International Hockey Hall of Fame. This is the International Hockey Hall of Fame. I pass, I guess. I mean, it's kind of throwing me for a loop. I see Haley Wickenheiser there. Pretty sure this is the Hockey Hall of Fame. This is the BMO building. This is BMO Tower. This is Tony Soprano's dream house. This is Final Fantasy VII, I think. This is Final Fantasy VII. This is the Eden Center. Really? This isn't the Eden Center? Oh, it's Eaton's. It's Eaton's? Is it still... Eden's isn't like a thing that exists anymore. Is it called something different now? It's called Brookfield Mall. I don't know. I don't know it. I don't know it. This is where they filmed Loki. You could catch Morbius. I'm not Morbius. Mobius sitting in the racks here. It's the Toronto Public Library. This is an incredibly cool looking building. This is the TVA. Thank you, thank you. This would be the aquarium. This is where the shot Toronto Aquarium. I'm passing. This is the Scotia Bank Brown building. This place is called Guberman and Warts. Really? This is the brewery district? This is the brewery district. I mean, sorry, this is the distillery district. Yeah. Don't put me on Mill Street and think that I don't know where I am. Yeah, I don't know what this is. Cadillac Fairview doesn't want me in? Buildings to get audited from. This is Pearson Airport, which is actually in Mississauga. So, I mean, that's kind of like a little bit of a misnomer there. Couldn't tell you what this is. This is the Toronto Symphony Hall. This is the Toronto Auditorium. Chat, can I get some help? This is where the symphony was. This is the Fedora building. No help. Roy Thompson Hall. Ontario Legislative Building. That was my next guess. CN Tower. Oh, the ROM, of course. Of course. Robarts Library, the Aga Khan Museum, Toronto Dominion Centre, the Art Gallery of Ontario, Fairmont Royal York, the Gooderham Building. What the hell are you talking about? It's what I typed. I typed it like, I missed the capitals? First Canadian place. This one I almost got. Bob Sri Swaminarayan Mandir, Toronto. Sharp Design for Center. The Alan Lambert Galleria. You're telling me this isn't the Eden Center? The L Tower. We got the W building and the L Tower. Well, they built it in the right city. Toronto Reference Library. Ripley's Aquarium, believe it or not. That's Scotia Plaza. I said Scotiabank Brown Building. What was I thinking? Old City Hall. The Scarborough Civic Center. Pearson Airport. Commerce Court North. Roy... It's a very hard quiz. Perhaps you could bake in a little bit of tolerance for spelling. It's a like, if I said it out loud after taking the answer from chat, you would have given it to me. This is the Ernst & Young Tower. This is the Ontario Legislative Building, of course. Of course. Well, I got to be honest with you. It's not getting any easier. You think they got a buildings in Kingston? Like maybe in Ottawa I've got a chance. I could probably get like 5. Those are the Parliament buildings. That's the Royal Canadian Museum Art Gallery. Canadian Art Museum. That's the Nature Museum? Okay, I didn't know that one. I'm just guessing. I don't fucking know. This is where you go. This is the post office. This is the Ottawa Post Office. This is the art gallery. This is the Canadian Art Museum Gallery. Can I get... It's the Royal Art Gallery. National Art Gallery. Thank you. National Art Museum. Help me! National Art Gallery. Une histoire du artisanal canadien. What is this? This is the art gallery, I think. Or wait, are you just the Rito Center? No. This is the Fairmont, Ottawa. This has got to be like the Canadian Mint archives or something. There's no way that basement's not full of gold bars. Couldn't tell you. Looks like of the flagship location of Jack Astor's. Is this the Museum of Civilization? I have no idea. I thought this was the, maybe not. That's in Hull anyway. I'm going to say this is the airport. This is Ottawa Airport. Oh, it's the War Museum. I've actually been there, but it was in 8th grade. The Ottawa Triangle. This is the Museum of Civilization. Am I dying? That's prison. That's the Corel Center, which is now called something different. I think it's called the Canadian Tire Center. This is airport. This is Ottawa Airport. This is the Trudeau Airport. I think that's Montreal. I don't remember what the Ottawa Airport name is. That's actually the Aerospace Museum. That would explain why the huge airplane is so close to the terminal. Like, you could just walk on. This is 33 Sussex Drive. I don't remember. It's what? Where does the Prime Minister live? It's like 29 Sussex Drive or something like that. Well, I would say I basically got my ass kicked. Canadian Museum of Nature. Rideau Hall. That's a big one. National Gallery of Canada. This is where I had to go to get my visa approved so I could go to Korea. So I went to the Korean consulate and I was like, hey, I'm here to get a stamp on my visa. And they're like, did you make an appointment? And I'm like, no, but I took a 2-hour-long bus ride to get here. And they're like, okay, come back in 8 hours. So I just wandered around Ottawa. I went to the National Gallery of Canada. And there was an 18-plus zone. And you had to be 18 to get in. There was like a bouncer. I was 21, I think. So I said, excuse me, I'll pass right through here. And then there's just a bunch of huge blown up images of a woman with cum on her face. Apparently there was a very famous Canadian photographer his modus operandi was jerking off on his model's face and then taking a picture of it. And I was like, art, This is also where there was a section on like Americanized Japanese art. And they were playing on loop the Kirsten Dunst music video where she sang a cover of Turning Japanese. I think I'm turning Japanese. I really think so. Da, 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 da. I'm not saying it's a great exhibit. I was not really ready to interpret it at the time, honestly. Dudes rock. It's art, baby. That's the Chateau Laurier. I could have gotten that. That's the Supreme Court. Not a lot of parking, huh? Office of the Prime Minister and the Privy Council. Yeah. Canadian Museum of History. That's the War Museum. That's the Bank of Canada Museum. Listen, I can't imagine a more boring museum premise in my life. That maybe it's cool on the inside, but like, I can't imagine. National Arts Center. Library and Archives. Canadian Aviation and Space Museum. 24 Sussex Drive. I typed 29. Oh, I'm being real with you. I could not. It's not getting any better. Like, if you want to see me get a 0, no, the Saddle Dome's going to be in here. Okay, you ready? This is buildings in Calgary. One of them is shaped like a saddle. It's called the Saddle Dome. Oh, excuse me. The Scotiabank Saddle Dome. Okay, so this is the tower in Calgary that's not as cool as the CN Tower, but it's the coolest thing that they've got. So they put it in all of like the B-roll shots to establish that you're in Calgary. I'm going to say this is the Enbridge Tower of Emissions. That's okay. It's a pass. This is C. This is Scotiabank Saddle Dome. This is the University of Calgary W. Brett Wilson Library. Okay. This is Jason Kenney's house, I think. This is Thorin Fleury's theater. Calgary, Rootin, Tootin, Boot, Scootin, Square, Dancing, Jack Astor's, and Eastside Mario's flagship location. This is Calgary Square. This is where the horses live when they're not stampeding. This is Lucy Maud Montgomery's summer home. It's the Holiday Inn. This is, I believe this is Isengard and Minas Tirith. I believe this is Ralph Klein's staircase. This is Medieval Times. This is the post office, of course. And then we're back around to the top. The Calgary Tower, of course. The Bow. Calgary Central Library, the Military Museums, Calgary City Hall, Telus Sky, the Glenbow Museum, Fort Calgary. Were you worried of being like invaded by Idaho? Don't flatter yourself. Fort Calgary, Lougheed House, Brookfield Place, Bankers Hall West Tower, Calgary Municipal Building, the Muwata Armories, and the Suncor Energy Center. That's pretty close to the Enbridge Tower of Emissions. I mean, and then just to be honest with you, I'm not going to waste my time here, but like Edmonton is like